What's up guys? Today I want to bring you a deck profile on a deck I've actually been tweaking for quite a while now. And of course it is the supposedly up and coming Madolches. We're still not at Lord of the Tachyon Galaxy yet, so unfortunately we don't have Hootcake. But this build has been proving to be very effective, so let's cut the shit and just go straight to the build. First up, 3 Madolche Madolche, because she is pretty much the centerpiece of the deck. No explanation necessary. Next, I choose to play triple Messengelado. He's really good combined with Mufei, and yes, I believe it is pronounced Mufei because I am Canadian, so I was forced to take French for up to grade 9, and I also did take it in grade 10 because I'm a dumbass. But anyways, in French, a sheet of paper is called une feuille de papier, and it's the exact same spelling, and if I'm not mistaken, the dessert they are referring to is a French dessert, so it would only make sense that it's pronounced the same as how that word is pronounced in French. But regardless, when special summoned, you get to add a Madolche spell or trap to your hand, I believe, from your deck, yes. And yes, this just searches out your ticket and your chateau, which is very important. And Palooza, because this build does run Palooza. Next, we have Madolche Croissant. If you don't know, he is part of the OTK involving himself, Madolche, and Ultimate Offering, and he goes to 2,000 when you bounce something back. And with the field spell up and running, he goes to 2,500, so he gets rid of most threats, and gaining a level and bouncing the Madolche back to have it ready to be used next turn is always a plus. And you can go into rank 4s with them as well. I choose to run 3 because he does get pretty big with the field spell up, and if you just special summon him off of Mufei and bounce the Mufei back, then you just have a 2,000 or 2,500 beater for the turn, which is really, really good. Next, we have 3 copies of Madolche Mufei. It's essentially a marauding captain for Madolches. It does trigger, what was his name, Messengelado, and that's the primary purpose of Mufei. I usually go Mufei, Messengelado, and get the search for the +1, or technically you break even, or technically it's a -1, but you do get the search. So it's a very useful card, and it does allow for just quick rank 3s. Next, I choose to run 1 copy of Marmalade. It's quite useful, recycling the ticket or recycling the chateau, because when you play Madolche, games tend to draw out longer because this deck kind of forces a war of attrition. Basically, the point of the deck is to just keep on spamming the field with these small monsters, which make bigger monsters from the extra deck, and these small monsters get pretty big by themselves and force your opponent to waste their power cards. And so when you have long drawn out games, eventually you will run out of tickets and the field spell Chateau. So having the Marmalade to recycle those spells and traps it's very useful because it gives you the upper hand in the late game. And a 2,000 wall is very good as well. Next, double Trag, as this deck does tend to keep very large hand sizes. Your Trags will always be very big, and it's always it's really, really easy to get into Exceed plays with this deck because you really only have ranks 3 and 4, so your Trags can just copy the ranks 3 and 4. and I choose to play one Malefic Cyber End Dragon. It's just a giant beater in case you just don't have an out or an answer to that one monster on the field. And yeah, it's really just there to be a giant fucking beater. Alright, spells. I am playing Triple Chateau. I choose 3 because I want to get to it as fast as possible. It's really damn good. The plus 500 attack and defense boost is actually quite helpful. It turns those small monsters in, like, it turns pretty much every Madolche monster to, like, at least have decent stats. And that's very good, considering most of the time you will be just using your Madolche monsters. And I'm not running Butler-esque, but I am running 3 Messengelato, so it kind of evens out. And the 3 Chateaus just so I can run into it faster. And if I do draw the Chateau, then I don't have to use Messengelato's effect to search it out. I can search something else out. Next, 2 copies of Ticket. 3 is kind of unnecessary because you'll get to the point where you've already searched out all your monsters with Madolches. And so Ticket becomes kind of dead, and the only fairy Madolche monster right now is Tiramisu. So you won't always be having that second effect off of Ticket live. However, the first effect, whenever the monster is returned back to from the deck to your hand, it is very good. So you have to combo this with the field spell Chateau. Next, the deck is prone to some pretty bad starting hands, so running 2 copies of Duality, it just gives the deck more consistency. Next, 2 MST. It's a staple pretty much. 3 is kind of unnecessary because you don't really mind running your monsters into their removal because your monsters really don't get... You recycle all your resources. I choose to run 2 just because Fire Fists are around and they're quite back row heavy. And having the set MST to hit the Tenki before main phase 2 to deny them the search is always a very good play. So yeah. Next up, the Broken Trinity for self-explanatory reasons. Some people say don't run Dark Hole. I still feel like Dark Hole is a necessity because you'll always run into that one monster that you can't get rid of or you won't have an immediate answer for, and just having the Dark Hole in the deck just gives you another out to any problem cards you might run into. Alright, traps, double Madolche Palooza because you can spam all the Madolches from your hand and possibly OTK, and it's just a very, very powerful card. And if you... it's special summon and it doesn't negate the effects, so you do trigger Messengelato, so you won't be minusing too much as long as you have a couple of Messengelatos in your hand. Alright, and double D-Prison. This deck runs a lot of back row because, like I said, it's a war of attrition and you need some artillery for your guns. D-Prison because it's D-Prison, like there's nothing else to say, it's great this format. Let's see, double Mirror Force, yes, 2 copies of Metal Raiders Mirror Forces, very, very pretty. Yeah, it's self-explanatory, just more back row, just to get rid of big problem monsters. Double Compulse because it's Compulse. I'm running 1 copy of Warning because that's what we're allowed now. This deck does go by the March 2013 ban list. 1 copy of God Says No to Everything. Thanks for that one, capital G. I heard you say that during a video and thought it was pretty funny, so it's what I'm going to call Solemn Judgment from now on. 1 copy of Ultimate Offering because it facilitates the OTK. And since we're very back row dependent, 1 copy of Starlight Road. Onto the extra deck. I'm not gonna, it's quite a toolbox oriented extra deck, so I'm not gonna like try to explain each card in depth because it's just there in case you need it most of the time. 1 copy of Levier, 1 copy of number 17 Leviathan Dragon, 1 Soul of Silver Mountain. This is supposed to be a Cyber End Dragon now that I'm running the Malefic Cyber End, but I just finished tweaking this build to my liking, and I haven't had the time to take that out, so just ignore this and pretend that's a Cyber End. 1 Temtempo, 1 Zen Mains, 1 Abyss Dweller, 1 Fairy King Albjervich, 1 Gagaga Cowboy, 2 copies of Madolche Queen Tiramisu, 1 Maestroke, 1 number 39 Utopia, 1 Black Ship of Corn, 1 Steel Swarm Roach, and 1 Stardust Dragon. So there you have it. That's my Madolche build for so far for the March 2013 ban list. I will continue playtesting and tweaking it, and this build might see a radical change with the release of Hootcakes in Lord of the Tachyon Galaxy. But yeah, feel free to ask me any questions, give me any criticisms in the comment section below, and don't forget to rate, like, subscribe, and comment. Anyways, that's it for this video. Hope you all have great days. Take it easy, you guys.